This is John Cola with GrowingYourGreens.com. I have another exciting episode for you. And today we're going to talk about greenhouses. So you can see I have a greenhouse here behind me, and this is the standard size, smaller size. I think it's like a 6x8 Harbor Freight greenhouse. And, it's actually served me very well. This is my first greenhouse I ever bought, and, it was a really good affordable price in the $200 range with a coupon at Harbor Freight Tool. I do have videos reviewing actually this greenhouse and my other larger one that we're going to show you guys in a second. But the reason for this video is because, I want to teach you guys to do it right the first time and don't do it like I'm doing it. I bought a smaller one and ran out of room, and then I bought a larger one, ran out of room. So now I have a little space in my yard, so I got another smaller greenhouse, but not quite as permanent as one of these guys. So this video is actually going to be assembling that unit and sharing with you guys how it works and how it goes together, because it is an affordable option for you guys out there. Now, greenhouses and hoop houses and high tunnels, whatnot, they can be used to keep your plants warmer, especially during the winter. They can, just by having the greenhouse, it can basically keep the temperature 10 degrees to 15 degrees, depends on the greenhouse, if it's in full sun or not, on average, warmer. So if you get down to like freezing, now you have, 10 degrees above freezing in your sealed off greenhouse. So what this enables me to do, it enables me to grow some tropical plants that I wouldn't normally be able to grow in the subtropical climate here. So if you live somewhere where it snows, it will allow you to grow things that are, maybe more frost tolerant, like the kales and the collard greens and, broccoli and cauliflower, even things like leeks, that you couldn't grow if it was snowing outside. So highly encourage you guys to get a greenhouse. To also it's useful for starting seedlings and all that kind of stuff as well. So anyways, let's head over and show you guys the large greenhouse, and then we're going to get to building the new greenhouse I just bought. Alright, so you can see behind me my big large 10 foot by 12 foot, and actually it's quite tall, maybe 12 feet tall, Harbor Freight greenhouse. Now if you are going to get a greenhouse, highly encourage you guys to actually save up your money to buy a large greenhouse. Now this is like the most economical, which means lowest cost, largest greenhouse that I could find. Now the quality isn't like super great, but it definitely does work. Since the past year or two it's been up, I have noticed the panels maybe clouding up just a little bit. So not getting as much light in there, but that might be a good thing so that things don't burn during the summertime. But nonetheless, it's keeping my plants alive, and that's the main job of the greenhouse. Now, when you buy it, you may have to make a few small improvements to it, like some of the panels fly off if, there's too strong a wind. So using extra clips, or actually we've been gluing in with some silicone some of the panels, and also sealing off the edges of the panels so that there can be no air in there. I have a special tape that I use, a waterproof tape, and I did make a video on that if you are interested in the special kind of tape I use. And other than that, it's been holding up really well and doing really great. But alas, it's full. Much like the jungle around me, everything's overgrown and growing a lot, since I guess I got some green thumbs. So today's project is actually going to be building a brand new greenhouse that I bought at actually Home Depot. About last year, I had a video on this very greenhouse when they started selling it for like $139.99. And actually later this year, a year later, they clearanced it out for 50 bucks. So, I saw a greenhouse for 50 bucks. I couldn't walk away, so I bought it. I'm doubtful that they have any left now since they've been clearanced out for a while. So next we're going to show you about that greenhouse and show you how easy to build without any tools. Now we're going to build this new greenhouse I got, and it's actually called the Spring Gardener Greenhouse. It says, grow a beautiful assortment of plants, flowers, and vegetables, save money, eat healthy, have fun. It's easy with the Spring Gardener Greenhouse. Assembly is a snap. No tools needed. Lightweight and portable even after assembly. 5 feet width by 6 feet long and 6.5 feet high. So that's me, a 5 by 6 by 6.5. So that's a decent size, and this is like just a small space that I have for this, so that's going to fit perfectly. Now this one, unlike the other ones, those ones have like a dual pane polycarbonate style basically plexiglass, sheeting, and so that's, a lot more durable, and it's going to keep a lot more heat in than this. This just has a simple, like plastic type covering. So, it's not going to stay quite as warm, but nonetheless, just putting this up, it'll get me a couple degrees to keep some of my plants alive through the winter time. So I guess the cool thing about this is that there's no tools required. So the other greenhouses from Harbor Freight, it's a little bit intensive, and the instructions actually were not the best. So I encourage you guys to look up online instructional videos or web pages that explain how to assemble those guys. This guy says no tools, so I'm gonna do it with no tools, and I'm gonna show you guys how it is. So especially if you don't own tools or want just something temporary, because I see this more as a temporary greenhouse structure than something that's gonna be long lasting. I mean, especially for the price, $139 the retail, and they do make still greenhouses like this in larger sizes, the same exact company, probably about the same exact kind of thing, but just larger. So that is an option for you if you don't want to do any tools and you maybe rent a place. Might be good to get one of these instead of the Harbor Freight greenhouse, which can be a pain to disassemble and reassemble if you do have to do that later on. So let's sit down where we're going to assemble this and open the box up and show you the parts and get assembling. Now we're going to go ahead and build this quote-unquote greenhouse here. And we're going to set this next to actually one of my sheds here. In this way, this will stay a little bit warmer than, putting this out in the middle of a field. It's also a little bit shadier here because, I might use this next season for actually starting some of the seedlings, because it'll stay warm and not get too much sun where, the seedlings may burn. But it'll get some, nice partial shade. Plus, one of the trees above me here will not have any leaves in the springtime because it will drop its leaves because it's an apricot tree. So anyways, let's go ahead and open this guy up and see what we got inside. Okay, be careful when opening this guy up because the greenhouse material is right there, and if you cut it up, you might actually pop a hole in it. So I'm just gonna peel this stuff off now and not use the knife here. So we got all these pieces here, and I can't believe there's no tools required. You can see this is the top of the greenhouse here, still kind of taped in. And then we got all the brackets and whatnot. So this will be very interesting to assemble. I guess the first thing is we're gonna go ahead and read the directions. Alright, basically it's a fairly easy construction. We're just going to take some of these pieces which are conveniently labeled, and then we're going to basically put in the different parts in there, and then you're going to take the nuts here, and it says no tools required because these are actually wing nuts. They have wings and you could actually hand tighten them. So I'm assembling the unit, and these are the rafters. Actually, this is the top, and actually this is going together actually quite easily, and actually it's quite sturdy without using any tools actually, so I'm actually quite impressed. Basically what you do is you take this is the main piece for the rafters. We're putting in the sides right now, and all you do is you find the part number, and this says actually E on the bottom. You take a look at the diagram and you find the other part. This is an A. Nope, we want an A here. Oh, here's the A. We want an A part, and then all you do is you stick the A part into the tube that you want it. Make sure it seats all the way in there. And then you're just going to take one of the screws with the wing nuts. Here's the wing nut here. You could just hand tighten these guys. And you want to make sure just not to cross thread these. That's the biggest issue you could have. And just take your time, screw it in. And actually do not want to over tighten these because it will probably start to cross strip. And if you tighten it too hard, you're going to break the welds that hold the nuts on. So you're just going to tighten it, and I'm tightening until it hits. Then maybe go like about a quarter turn. As much as you could tighten, you're probably going to break your bones before you break the steel. And it's tight and it's in there. I mean, that's pretty dang on solid. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and continue going and get this thing built right up. So I got this whole structure built, and here's the last wing nut, and basically this went together without any tools except actually the second to last wing nut, which actually I didn't cross thread, but the nut was actually kind of funky, so I had to use pliers to get it screwed in. But otherwise this went together without any tools. It's a really simple construction. I mean, basically what this is like one of those temporary, carport things to store your car under. It's just framing. It's very durable. They have a bottom piece on there and actually two holes to actually, anchor this down in the ground, which I highly encourage you guys to do. And, yep, that's pretty much it. Now the only last thing we got to do is actually just put the top on, and then we're all set up. So up to this point, took me about a half hour. No big deal with two people. It'd even go faster, but just put some music on and enjoyed building my new greenhouse. Definitely easy to assemble. We're down to the last step, and then we're just going to simply take out the cover out of the plastic here. And we're just going to go ahead and slide this puppy over the top and secure with these anchors, and then we'll be all finished. As you can see, got the top on it. Now putting the top on, you probably could do it with one person, but I did it with two people so that not to snag or create any holes in this plastic. I mean, that's definitely one thing you don't want to do, because trying to repair this, that's going to be a pain in the arse. So anyways, once you got it over the top, they have all these different securing straps and Velcro straps that you need to put on. So we'll take you inside the greenhouse and actually show you how to put those on too. Once inside, there's two things you'll have to do. You'll have to use these little straps, which are kind of tricky but very simple to use. And the other one are these little Velcro things. There's two on each downright or each corner. I'd like to pull that tight and just put the Velcro on, and just bring that around and Velcro it in place. It'll hold. So there's two of these on each one, and there's all those little twisty thingies. So let's go ahead and show you guys how to do those next. The next thing we have to do is put on these elastic things, and it's just very simple. There's a ball on this end, and it goes around and kind of loops over like this. Kind of holds it nice and taut. I like things nice and taut. And what we're going to do is just basically put this through one guy, and then it comes to the grommet here. We're going to put it through. You ever see that show, Wallace and Gromit? Anyways, it's a funny show. But anyways, we're just going to go ahead and snap that up, and it goes on, and it's actually auto tightening. We'll go ahead and do another one. I don't know if you'll be able to see this on the camera there. Might be out of the range, but these are very simple. There's a total of 36 of these, so you'll get the hang of it. Goes on really easy, and looks nice and tight. Now we got all the straps on, and we got it moved into place, and I want to go over a couple last things for you. Number one, there is an overhang, I don't know, approximately about 4 inches that actually hangs in. I guess you could make it hang out if you desire. And the other thing is right here they have some holes to actually anchor the corners down. What I'm going to probably do is actually get like some 4x4 wood and just basically frame out the whole bottom and actually screw this into the 4x4 and screw the 4x4 framing on the bottom together so it's a nice strong foundation. In addition, once I do that, this should no longer drag on the floor, but actually come down to about the base of that 4x4. So I think that's definitely really smart. If you want a more permanent installation, I don't know, maybe you could use some bricks or something like that. But I like this a lot. I guess next we'll go ahead and show you guys the outside shot, and I'll give you the summation or my summary of what I thought about this greenhouse for the price and the assembly and all that jazz, as my grandma used to say. Alright, putting the last couple touches on the new greenhouse here. And I wanted to mention first off, they give you 36 of these guys, but you only actually use 28, so don't be alarmed if you have extra pieces. These are probably just for use if like they wear out or the sun, degrades them. The cover piece is supposed to be UV resistant, and that's probably my main concern on how long this will actually last. This guy retailed out at $139 originally at Home Depot. For that price, it's probably a pretty, good investment. But I got it for 50 bucks on clearance. Definitely got my vote for buy. Maybe at 80 bucks, I think it's a really excellent value. For 100, you might want to think about it. But you also want to think about this. If you could get this, greenhouse up and it allows you to start your plants earlier and get them in the ground earlier, you're going to increase your harvest, and you'll probably at least make that much in food, depending on how many plants you're going to be planted out for the season. Another thing I like about this is that it is, warmer on the inside. I'm outside and it's getting cooler, the sun's going down, the wind's out, and inside it's definitely warmer. So that's definitely going to be, for sure, probably not going to be as warm as my regular greenhouses, but for a temporary, or for me it's going to be a permanent structure. We're going to see how long it lasts. I think it's great. Now, the whole unit has a 1-year warranty, so if it should wear out or this should degrade, and I'm most concerned maybe about this nylon stuff here, if it's going to leak under hard rains or whatever, but if it leaks, I guess it's no big deal. I do like that it's actually 6.5 feet tall, so unless you're a giant, you could walk down the middle and not hit your head. And there's enough room on both sides to have like a nice shelving system on there so you could grow a lot of plants inside there. Another really good idea is to use something like the $20, quote-unquote greenhouses that I showed at Big Lots a while back. If you check my past videos, they're basically just like a little PVC or vinyl cover over racks. And actually, if you put that inside here, then you'd have actually double greenhouse, so it'd stay particularly warm inside the double greenhouse. So I like that a lot. Basically, it has a 2 zipper sides, and you could actually roll this stuff up and keep it open. You could probably use it, you know, to store your tractor or your lawnmower if you still got one. I'd encourage you guys to take out your lawn and put in a garden instead. Anyways, I've had a lot of fun actually building this guy. Hopefully you got some hints and tips about building it, how it works, and it definitely was easy to assemble. So even if you're a lady, you could definitely now assemble one of these guys. No tools required. And I guess the biggest bonus of this guy is that, you know, if you have a husband or wife, and if you don't have a dog and you want to send them to the doghouse, you know, for the evening, just send them to the greenhouse. Any case, hope you guys enjoyed this episode, learning yet another way to grow food in a greenhouse and how to build one too. Greenhouses for me are imperative to keep some of my plants alive, to extend my growing season, and just to have more food growing in general. Once again, my name is John Kohler with growingyourgreens.com. We'll see you next time, and remember, keep on growing.